Shalom, Kolim La, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai. Also, Daban, the Sedels of GMS, and honest Yuakin. Peace and bless you, brothers and sisters. Listen to Church of the First One, hopeful elect. Kolim La, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai. And Babylon's 250-year anniversary. And, we spoke about this on the highways and hedges, on the countless atrocities Aisha was doing during their so-called independence in 1776. What they was doing against Gad, the Native American Indians, stealing the land, breaking the treaties, and how they was treating Jake, right? Treating Jake, you Negroes, like animals, man. Right? You wasn't even looked at as a human being in 1776, right? That's how harsh the conditions were of chattel slavery, man. You were just mere property, right? During this same time. So when they fought for their independence and they said all men were equal in the Constitution, it had nothing to do with us, man. Okay, but you got ninjas out there barbecuing and fireworks and the American flag, just completely out of their goddamn mind, man. Right? And we also seen they had the skydiver. I wish I could show that clip. Skydiver came in with the American flag and ended up falling, right? And Babylon is falling. Right, it's falling. That's an omen. Also, when they were doing their rehearsal for the Freedom 250, the dancers, the stage started collapsing. Right? So all these things are omens because this place is going down, man. This place is falling fast, man. All right? This place is no longer, it's not going to be revived, man. A lot of celebrations were canceled due to the weather. Right, the heat dome that's currently over America, different parts of the world, certain storms. Okay, this place is done, man. Right, now we also know about the inflation and the economy and the war. Matter of fact, let me get to Isaiah 47 chapter. This won't be a long video. Quick video to the Power Bashim El Shah. Let me get Isaiah chapter 47 verse 1. It says, Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Who's the virgin daughter of Babylon? King David mentioned it, Psalms 137. He called the Edomites the virgin daughter of Babylon who ought to be destroyed. Okay, so who's the virgin daughter of Babylon? These Edomites. What's the glory of all kingdoms? America. Who's ruling Babylon? These Edomites, man. The scripture tells you that Aisha is the end of the world. Okay, see? This is also what? The second leg of the Roman Empire. The deadly one was here. Right? And then the eighth head came out of the seventh. See? America, man. All right? And who's ruling, like we said? The Edomites. This is the second leg of the Roman Empire. The same beast that Daniel saw. The same beast that Ezra saw. And of course, St. John the Revelator. The Edomites are the virgin daughter of Babylon, and they the ones that's ruling and running this society, man. Okay, so let's read on. It says, let's sit on the ground. So scripture says sit in the dust. Okay, so this place is about to lose its luxury. All right, its comfort, its wealth. Okay, Yahweh Shemal Shah said sit in the dust, man. Right, and we see that, like I mentioned before, the economic, the inflation. All right, this place is no longer the land of opportunity, man. A lot of people losing their jobs. A lot of people, man. Right, a lot of businesses, a lot of industries are going down. So this place is about to sit in the dust, man. Right, like we mentioned, that whole Isaiah 19 chapter going into the economic collapse of Babylon the Great. All right. And of course, we know the missiles are going to do the rest. But scripture says sit in the dust. So this place is going to be leveled. All right. It says, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There's no throne. O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right. Because this place has never been hit with those major catastrophes, wars on all the wars that America waged was never on American soil. Right. We're not talking about the Civil War. Talking about all these other major wars that Babylon has fought, as always in foreign territory, man. Even the two major wars, World War I and World War II, even when you go into Pearl Harbor, they wanted Pearl Harbor, right? They pushed the Japanese to do Pearl Harbor so they can enter the war, right? But for the most part, this place is tender and delicate, okay? But Yahweh Shemal Shah said, listen, he about to bring you down. Okay, now I'm not going to go through the whole Isaiah 47. Let me jump verse 6. All right, the whole chapter is good. He said, I was wroth for my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. All right, so who's that talking about, man? The Israelites, man. We were given into the hands of these Idumeans, these Edomites. America, she got drunk off the blood of the saints. The Israelites, man. All the scriptures go together. That's why we mentioned Psalms 137. The Edomites said, raise it, destroy it, destroy it, when the Babylonians came in. Okay? And King David called them the virgin daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. And the scripture says we were given into their hand. You can also read that in the book of Joel. Right? How the Africans and the Arabs sold us to the Edomites, man. Okay, we were brought from one end of the earth to the other. The book of Revelation said that Babylon is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So this is that Egypt in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, man. Okay, it says, and given into thine hand, thou showed them no mercy. Okay, we went on our highways and hedges of different examples, of various examples of what Aisha did to us, man. And some of those things are just now coming out. Right, what they did to Seneca Village, Rosewood, different things on Black Wall Street. We've got different parts of the South. They just came out with certain, that's just hidden things being brought out, man. All right. Upon the ancient thou hast verily heavily laid thine yoke, and thou said, I shall be a lady forever. Right. So thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it. Right. They didn't think they were going to pay for all the things that they done, man. Right? The Idumean is extremely proud, man. All right? That's why it says, verse 8, therefore, hear now this, thou art given to pleasures, thou dwellest carelessly, thou said in thine heart of thy mind, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. That scripture says the inward part is that their houses shall continue forever. What, you think you're going to rule another 250 years? It's not going to happen, man. Like I said, these Idumeans, especially these American Edomites, they're extremely proud, man. All right? The scripture says he's more stout than his fellows. But what the Most High said, verse 9, these two things shall thou come to thee in a moment, in one day. The scripture says it's going to take 1 hour for the missiles and Yahweh Shai to put in that work, man. The loss of children and widowhood, and thou shalt come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries. Right? Because they have they astrologers, prognosticators, they scientists, they wise men, they counselors. Hell, now they AI. Right? And none of that stuff is going to save you from this destruction that's about to come. For the great abundance of thine enchantments. Right? So all their enchantments and their sorceries, this is not going to save them, man. Okay? You're still going to know the loss of children and widowhood, and this place is going to be completely destroyed, man. All right. And like we brought out in that previous video I did earlier this year, when most empires reach their 250 year, they go down. Right. The Assyrians ruled for about 250 years, the British Empire, the Spanish Empire. Right. Not all kingdoms, but a lot of kingdoms historians highlighted, they realized a pattern. The Apostle Charles brought this out and brothers did videos on it. These historians realized the pattern. When most kingdoms reach that 250 year mark, that is it. All right. It goes down, man. And this place been going down. When you read the book of Obadiah, when you made your nest amongst the stars, the Most High said, I'm going to bring you down. That started in 1969. That's when Abba Bivens was on the scene and this truth started spreading. Now, according to Ezekiel, the 47th chapter, now we're rivers to swim in now, man. The rivers of living water. The understanding, the truth has grown. And now you've got the internet Now it's worldwide. So now your empire is falling even faster, man. Like I said, this won't be a long lesson. Just want to, quickly do a video on this, man. America will have to pay for all the things she has done, right? All the crimes that she has committed. She has to pay, right? And you Edomites, you're going to pay, man. All right. And who are you Edomites? The so-called white man today. You proud-blooded Americans, you patriots. You're going to have to pick up the tab for what your forefathers have done. Points blank, period. A lot of you like to cry and say that wasn't me, right? Or pick yourself up by your bootstraps. That was in the past, right? The scripture says, who possess to slay them and hold themselves not guilty. You won't pay for all that, man. Let's get Nahum, the 3rd chapter. Nahum 3:1. It says, woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery, in which Nahum is prophesying also the destruction of what? Of the ancient Assyrians. Nineveh. Okay? This is the vision of Nahum is seeing the destruction of Nineveh, man. Right? Which is going into it. The Assyrians, they also ruled, like I just mentioned, for approximately 250 years. They were the great powerhouse. Right? They were also mentioned in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. Right? I believe it was the lion with the eagle's wings. I forgot the Syrian symbol. I think it was a Lamatsu, if I can remember. Right? And when it lost its wings, that was the Babylonian Empire. The Babylonians, absorbed all the Assyrian territories. Okay? But they were a major powerhouse. Right? So Nahum prophesied their destruction, man. Right? And Babylon, the Edomite, he's also known as the Assyrian. Isaiah the 10th chapter, Micah the 5th chapter. Okay? The book of Nahum right now. Right? This is also talking about America, man. All right? Let's read verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not, man. It says full of lies and robbery, man. How did this place become great? Right? Talk about America, the land of the free, home of the brave. For who, man? Okay? Like we talk about, what made this place great was slavery. Right? Free labor. Right? People treating people like cattle. All right? The cotton, tobacco, sugar. Right? Like talked about forced labor, man. That's what made this. When you go back to all those major banking companies, insurance companies, it all money ties back to slavery, man. Right? And chattel slavery, to be specific, man. And of course, before they had us in slavery, they had to spill the blood of the Native American Indians, and they displaced them. They put them on what? Reservations, man. Right? We was going into a bunch of examples of a list of things, what they were doing to Gad during the same time period, man. Okay? And of course, Babylon don't stop there. The scripture says, Aishah, he could never have enough. His eyes stand out with fatness. His desires as hell or the grave. And the grave can never be satisfied. After he took this land, he took other lands. He took their resources. He took their oil. All of that, man. Set up puppet leaders. All right. He has a history of violence, man. So this is the bloody city, man. Okay. Let me read, the whole chapter is good. Nahum, I just wanted to, mainly freestyling in the spirit, going into this whole 250 year anniversary. And you people, you're going to have to pay, man. Right? According to the scriptures, you reap what you sow, man. Right? And this whole chapter is good. Nahum, the 3rd chapter. But like Yahweh Shemal Shah said in verse 5, that he was going to lift your skirt. Right? He was going to show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. Okay? All right? Because we know in times past, Babylon was seen as a beacon of light. Well, all these nations are seeing your hypocrisy now, right? Right? They all seen that you for the murderer that you are. That you're not a Christian. Right? You don't believe in Jesus Christ. right? You don't believe in freedom, liberty, and justice, man. You are a thief and you are a murderer, right? And you trap people to what? Through debt, right? You trick people, right? They force people, they exploit people, right? To invest in the dollar, right? To push their hegemony. See, and everybody's seeing now what you're doing with these Amalekites, right? Because these Amalekites is pushing you into this third world's war, man. And that's where the nation's going to come up against you, man. So your skirt have been lifted. You being exposed. And of course, you're also being exposed to who? The prophets. The scripture says that the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, right? We're bringing out all your dirty works and the things that you have done, man. Right? What made this place great, man? And we praying to Yahweh Shem Shah to come save us out of here, man. Because we're still in captivity. We have nothing to celebrate about, man. The scripture says we are yet in this day in our captivity. Okay? And when this place go down, man, we gonna rejoice, man. Okay? We gonna rejoice, man. Let me get that Revelation, the 18th chapter. Let's say I wouldn't do nothing long. I just want to do a quick video to Prophet Yahweh Shem Shah, because we spoke about this already. 250 years. Also on the highways and hedges. Scripture says it's Revelation 18, verse 20. It says, and this is that great city, right? Revelation 11 chapter. Okay, Revelation the 17th chapter. Everybody does business with the whore. Everybody, she rules over many nations, Revelation 17. Everybody does business with her when you read Revelation the 18th chapter, right? All the merchants of the earth do business with Babylon, right? She's the greatest importer of goods, right? You want your product to do great, it has to sell here. But the scripture says she's going to lose all of that, okay? And verse 20, it says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her, man. Right? The brothers that, die here, where the great persecution is coming, but also what they did to our people as well, man. We're going to rejoice over this place, man, when the Lord save us and we see this place go up in flames. That's the lake of fire. Okay? And it says, a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Okay? So it was built off violence, and it's going to go out the same way. And we're going to rejoice, man. I think there's one in Jeremiah 51 as well. That's what we're going to celebrate. So not today. Nah, man. We don't acknowledge this bullshit, man. Okay, when we get delivered on that particular day, Adam Ratazah, more than likely it's going to be a high holy day, man. When this place is annihilated. Let's get this. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 48. Then the heaven and the earth and all that therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoiler shall come unto her from the north, saith the Lord, man. Okay, which we know the Russians, okay, the Medes is going to destroy this place, man. Okay, they're going to lead the charge. Of course, you have the Carmanians, the Iranians, China, North Korea. They're going to be involved as well, this Third World War. But that's the main adversary, right? That scripture says she started with the leopard and she's going to end with the bear, the Russians. All right, verse 49. As Babylon have caused the slain of Israel to fall, what they did to us, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth, man. Matter of fact, let me read that in the GNT. Let's get a little more understanding on that. Let's get Jeremiah 51 verse 19 GNT. It says, Babylon caused the death of people caused the death of people all over the world. So it's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about this one right here. Jeremiah 50 and 51. All over the world, America caused havoc and destruction. And now Babylon will fall because it caused the death of many Israelites I, the Lord, have spoken. So the destruction that she caused worldwide and what she did to the Israelites, she's going to pay for it. She is going to pay for it, man. All right. So like I said, I didn't want to do nothing long. Just wanted to, report on this, man. That's when we going to rejoice, when this place is completely destroyed, man. Right? That's when we going to be singing praise to Yahweh Shah, because he avenged us, man. That's why Sirach said, man. Matter of fact, I may get another precept. Let me get that. I think it's Sirach 25. Verse 7. Sirach 25 and 7. There be 9 things that I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children. That's a beautiful thing. That's a gift from the Lord. But you can't even enjoy your children on this side if you have children. God forbid. Right? But in a righteous society, children is, as the scripture tells you, is joy, man. The Most High said to be fruitful and multiply. But everything is turned upside down. Having a child in this society is really a curse, man. Right? Because everything is out of order. The women are out of order. The children, everything, man. The school system, the full system, right? Indoctrinating these children. This place is terrible, man. But it says what? A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy, man. Living to see the fall. He said that brings joy to his heart, man. Just like Tobias. Hold on. We talked about Nineveh. Let's get that. We'll close it out with that. All right. Because Jonas prophesied the destruction of Nineveh. Nahum saw the destruction of Nineveh. Right. But Tobias, he heard about it. Let's read it. Let's get it, man. Close it out with this precept. He went to Midian. Let's read Tobit 14. I believe that's in Iran. That's his father told him to. And he said, listen, I believe what the prophet Jonah said. All right? But let's read. Tobit chapter 14, verse 12. And when Hannah, his mother, died, he buried her with his father. But Tobias departed with his wife and children to Ecbatani, to Raguel, his father-in-law, where he became old with honor and buried his father and mother-in-law honorably, and inherited a substance as his father's Tobit. And he died at Ecbatani in Midian. I believe this is Iran, being 127 years old. 127 years old. Wow, man. See? But before he died, he heard of the destruction of Nineveh, which was taken by Nebuchadnezzar and Assyrius, who took down, I think this was, what's his name? Astyg's father, if I can remember. I think Syrax, Kez. I got to go through that history again. Right? And, Nebuchadnezzar's father, I believe. Right? Nabopolassar. It's beautiful to go through the history again. But it was a joint alliance between the Medes and the Babylonians that took down the Assyrians. Right? But it says, well, before he died, let me read it again. Before he died, he heard of the destruction of Nineveh, which was taken by Nebuchadnezzar, I believe Nebuchadnezzar's father, and Azures, which I believe that was Astyg's father, the Medes. Right? And before his death, he rejoiced over Nineveh. So when he heard about it, he rejoiced, man. And that's going to be us as well, man. Right?